On the eve of discovering my true identity as the legitimate daughter, my adoptive mother brandished a kitchen knife in the dead of night, intent on taking my life. Unfortunately, I was not in bed. I was hiding beneath it. When I first arrived at the Gu family home, the entire family was taken aback. After all, they had just received news that the vehicle sent to fetch the true daughter had exploded. The false daughter, with a gentle demeanor, inquired, "Sister, why did you not take the car?" I replied, with a sense of certainty, "How could I possibly ride in a stranger's vehicle? Strangers might seek to harm me, and the vehicle itself could pose a threat to my life. I still harbor the belief that you wish to bring me harm." Later, my mother deemed my caution excessive and personally served me soup. I offered a smile and dropped a silver needle into the broth. The needle darkened, and my mother's smile faded. Upon my arrival at the Gu family residence, I was met with a sight of tear-streaked faces, their eyes reddened with sorrow. Gu mother, in a fit of despair, lamented my unfortunate fate, weeping copiously. Observing their distress, I cleared my throat and, under the guidance of the butler, approached them while bearing an assortment of bags. "Greetings, everyone. I am Lin Chen." The individuals before me were momentarily rendered speechless, having only just received news of my demise a mere 10 minutes prior. The vehicle dispatched to fetch me had met with a catastrophic explosion en route, claiming the lives of all aboard. It was the faux heiress who first regained her composure. Gently inquiring, "Sister, why did you not take the car?" I smirked, promptly retorting, "How could I possibly ride in a stranger's vehicle? Strangers are perilous. What if they suddenly brandish a knife? And vehicles are fraught with danger. What if an accident were to occur?" With strangers and cars combined, I could conceive of over 100 potential ways to meet my end. With that, I surveyed the assembly, my expression stoic as I declared, "Naturally, I still harbor the belief that you may wish to do me harm." My parents exchanged a glance, uncertain of how to respond. My brother interjected, "What are you saying? You are our family. Why would we wish to harm you? Is that so? That would be ideal." I contemplated the layout of the Gu villa, pondering potential escape routes in the event of a fire. The vastness of the rooms provided ample hiding spots, and with numerous servants around, maintaining distance would prove cumbersome. Noticing my somber demeanor, my mother gently reassured me, "Do not worry, you are home now, and we shall ensure you suffer no further." As she reached out to caress my head, I instinctively retreated to a distance of 3 meters, allowing myself ample time to flee should she act unexpectedly. My mother, sensing my aversion, awkwardly withdrew her hand, stating, "It's all right. We will have plenty of time to get to know one another." I regarded her in silence. My brother, Gu Yu, could no longer contain his irritation, exclaiming, "Lin Chen, mother merely wishes to draw closer to you, not to harm you." The faux heiress chimed in with faux sweetness, "Sister, do you not wish to come back?" "Indeed, I do not wish to return at all." Taken aback by my bluntness, the faux heiress's expression faltered, "Sister, what do you mean?" I smirked, gesturing towards her with exasperation. "What do you mean?" "Thanks to your biological mother," I continued. "She came at me with a kitchen knife in the dead of night, intent on killing me. Had I not prepared and hidden beneath the bed, I would already be dead." The room fell into a profound silence. I turned to my biological parents, adding, "As for my reasons for returning, it is because you are respectable individuals. Surely your methods of murder would be more civilized. Physical attacks require quick reflexes, and given my malnourishment, I am likely to fail." 2. My brother furrowed his brow. "What nonsense are you spouting? Yao Yao's biological mother is your adoptive mother. Why would she wish to harm you?" Gu Yao's complexion paled, her voice tinged with tears. "Yes, sister. How can you say such things about mother? She raised you for over a decade." Observing their duet, I retrieved the police report from my bag and tossed it onto the table. Following that, I produced my phone and began playing a video. The footage depicted a middle-aged woman wielding a kitchen knife, mercilessly stabbing a bed multiple times. Upon discovering the absence of a person, she commenced searching the room. The subsequent clip showcased her pursuing me with a knife through several streets. As the video concluded, my mother's eyes glistened with fresh tears. Yet she dared not approach me again. My father, with a furrowed brow, seemed lost in thought. Gu Yao sat on the sofa, her gaze flickering. My brother gasped, "This can't possibly be real. It looks like a movie." "It is not," I replied coolly. "Thus, if you too could show some compassion, might you assist me in hiring a lawyer?" At last, my father spoke, his voice gravelly. Very well, I shall procure the finest lawyer for you. Do you have any other requests? I contemplated for a moment before responding earnestly. I wish for you to allow me to stay safely until after the college entrance examinations. No problem, my father replied decisively, adding, rest assured, we will protect you. You are our child. Feel free to voice your desires. I tucked my phone away, stating flatly, there is no need. I hold no expectations of you. My mother's lips moved as if to say something, but ultimately, she merely offered me a tender smile. My brother, frowning, was about to retort when my father silenced him with a glance. He then shifted the conversation, suggesting he show me my bedroom. Upon entering, my mother looked at me with anticipation. Chin Chin, this room was specially designed by the decorator in a style I thought you might like. It has great lighting and even a small terrace. Take a look. I did not follow her gesture, but instead pushed the door open to conduct a thorough search of the room. My mother's smile faltered. Chin Chin, what are you looking for? Just checking to see if anyone has tampered with anything. Lin Chin, are you unwell? My brother entered behind me and frowned as I began inspecting the sockets. This is home. Who would be so idle as to harm you? Ignoring him, I continued my meticulous examination, leaving no corner unchecked. He persisted in his complaints until I laid 3 hidden cameras I had discovered on the bed. He fell silent, his expression one of shock. What is this? Cameras. My mother's face paled further, her words stumbling as she stammered. This cannot be. How could there be cameras in our home? May I switch rooms? I surveyed the room's excessively luxurious decor, uncertain of what else might be concealed. My father quickly arrived, glanced at the cameras without further inquiry, and permitted me to choose another room. I wandered through the villa and selected a room on the first floor near the entrance. 3. After changing rooms, the butler summoned me for dinner. Grabbing my backpack, I approached the dining table. Gu Yao greeted me with a gentle smile. Sister, you've finally come down. I refrained from responding and instead circled the table, ensuring that no mysterious liquids adorned the chairs and that no chandeliers hung precariously above. Only then did I take a seat, placing my backpack on my lap, ready to access its contents at a moment's notice. My mother offered me a bowl of rice, which I declined, retrieving 2 cans of 8 treasure porridge and a vacuum-packed sausage from my bag. No, I brought my own. My mother appeared troubled. Is it that you do not like rice? Not at all. I simply believe this to be safer. After inspecting the packaging for damage, I popped the tab on the porridge, finding solace in this food compared to the meal on the table. My mother leaned closer, her eyes filled with concern. But you are still growing. You cannot survive solely on canned goods. Better unhealthy than dead. I scooped some porridge, not lifting my gaze. My brother placed his chopsticks down with impatience, glaring at me. Lin Chen, are you not being overly dramatic? The meals here are prepared by servants. What could possibly be amiss? You are acting like a startled bird. Do you not tire of it? I ignored him, continuing to consume my canned food. My mother looked at me with pity, personally serving me a bowl of chicken soup. Chen, I made this myself. Just have a sip, please. I assure you, nothing has been added. I scrutinized the bowl of soup for a couple of seconds before retrieving a silver needle from my bag, holding it delicately by the tail as I gently probed it into the soup. Sister, what are you doing? Guyao set down her chopsticks and fixed her gaze upon me. Are you still afraid that mother might poison the soup? Just as my brother was about to chime in, the needle turned black within mere seconds. Mother was taken aback, her eyes widening at the sight of the silver needle. Before I could utter a word, Father soothingly remarked, the silver needle may not be accurate. Perhaps there's something inside that contains sulfide. Mother nodded vigorously. Indeed, Chen, it could be an accident. Whether it is an accident can be determined by testing, I interjected, retrieving a palm-sized iron cage from the bottom of my backpack. Inside, curled up, was a small, gray mouse that I had intentionally caught and kept in my bag for the purpose of testing for poison. Where did you get that mouse? My brother sprang up, his expression shifting dramatically. Lin Chen, have you lost your mind bringing a mouse home? Ignoring his reaction, I scooped a bit of chicken soup with a small spoon and offered it at the cage's entrance. The little mouse approached, lapping up a few drops, and within seconds, it began to convulse and collapsed lifelessly in the cage. The atmosphere at the table instantly froze. Mother's complexion drained of color, her lips quivered, unable to articulate a word. Gu Yao, seated beside her, exhibited a fleeting flicker of panic in her eyes, though she quickly regained her composure.
Mom and Dad.
Could it be that the mouse was already sick? My brother glanced at the deceased mouse, nodding in agreement. Right, perhaps it was just an intentional scare by my sister. I looked up at my brother, managing a bemused smile. Then I produced another lively little mouse from my bag. How do you still have one? He gazed at my backpack with a complex expression. I took up the small spoon again and ladled more chicken soup. Soon, another lifeless mouse lay upon the table, identical to the first, convulsing before it fell, without a sound. At this point, silence enveloped the room. Father's face darkened completely as he instructed the butler to discard all the dishes. I continued munching on my canned food, contemplating how this pristine environment should be devoid of mice. Perhaps I should raise a few myself. They ought to be easy to care for. Later that afternoon, feeling hungry, I took out a self-heating pack to boil water for instant noodles. My brother approached, observing my actions with a scoff. Sister, are you out of your mind? We have a gas stove and an electric kettle at home. Why are you using that piece of junk to cook noodles? That's incredibly inefficient. I did not turn around, continuing to sprinkle seasoning over the noodle cake. It's safe. Safe? My foot. I think you just don't know how to use it. Pretending to be clever. My brother stepped over and snatched the self-heating box from my hands, placing it on the nearby dining table. Can you even eat the noodles cooked with this junk? Just wait for me to cook them for you. It'll only take 10 minutes. And they'll taste 10 times better than this. No need. I reached out to retrieve it, but he evaded me. With a raised brow, he confidently asserted, I'm your brother. How could I possibly harm you? His demeanor made me frown as I earnestly explained, I simply think the kitchen is unsafe. What if someone tampered with it and it exploded? You're overthinking it. I believe the incident at noon was also an accident. I drank 2 bowls of soup and was fine. As he spoke, he walked towards the kitchen, and a warning bell rang in my mind, prompting me to retreat to a safe distance. Are you done yet? He turned back, shooting me a glare. It's just cooking instant noodles. Wait. I'll have it ready for you in no time. Watching him enter the kitchen, there was a sudden loud bang. By the time the butler and our parents rushed in, the kitchen was already enveloped in black smoke. The ambulance arrived swiftly, and as my brother was carried away on a stretcher, he stubbornly remarked, this must be an accident. I'll make you noodles when I get back. As I watched the ambulance fade into the distance, I nonchalantly continued preparing my noodles using the self-heating pack. Days later, my brother returned home from the hospital. Father summoned the 3 of us to the study. Once we were gathered, he pushed a document towards us. Regarding the family's assets, including real estate, shares, and savings, I intend to divide it into 3 portions. Father's voice was grave as he pointed to the document. Sister will receive 40%, brother 30%, and Yao 30%. My brother paused for a moment, a hint of embarrassment in his tone. Dad, I really don't need that much. I can earn my own money in the future. Gu Yao also smiled and declined. Thank you, Dad, but I'm not your biological child. I'm afraid giving me so much might upset my sister. I glanced at the document, and then at the 2 of them who were deflecting, and couldn't help but retort. Are you trying to incite a battle royale among us? Before Father could respond, my brother immediately shot back, glaring at me. Lin Chen, what nonsense are you spouting? Who would harm their family for money? Seeing the incredulous looks on my and Gu Yao's faces, my brother became flustered, glancing back and forth between us.
Hey.
Don't you both feel the same way? No. Why aren't you both speaking? Surely, I must be more important to you than money. After all, I'm your brother. He scratched his head, and when no one responded, he looked at Gu Yao with a hint of grievance. Yao, say something. Gu Yao finally caught on and changed her expression. Brother is right. How could we ever fight over money? I observed her expression as she spoke, and it didn't seem sincere at all. However, my brother didn't notice. He was elated, grasping Gu Yao's hand and excitedly proclaiming, then let us just give all the money to Lin Chen. She's the only one who cares about it. Gu Yao's face darkened in an instant, and she fell silent, as if she were contemplating slapping my brother. I forced a smile, sharing her sentiments. My brother was just a fool. What family is more important than money? Having grown up in the lower strata, I am acutely aware of the lengths to which individuals will go for a mere pittance. Setting aside the notion of familial betrayal, just the sight of the long string of zeros in the Gu family's savings is enough to entice a group of strangers to spend over a decade orchestrating a trap for me. He couldn't possibly be intentionally trying to harm me, could he? I eyed my brother, who was still blissfully unaware, with suspicion. Was he merely pretending? Noticing my gaze, he turned his head and patted his chest, saying, "Look how understanding Yao Yao is. You can keep the money for yourself." Upon hearing this, I was momentarily speechless. Was he trying to incite animosity towards me? Setting me up as a target, waiting for Gu Yao and me to fight to the death while he reaped the rewards? Father, witnessing the scene, did not oppose and sighed, rubbing his forehead. "All right, if you all don't want it, then let us give it all to Chin Chin."
Ha!
I waved my hand dismissively, exclaiming, "Are you all trying to hasten my demise?" Father softened his tone, taking a step forward and reaching out to pat my arm. I promptly sidestepped. Was this old man scheming? Didn't he see the murderous intent emanating from Gu Yao beside him? "Chin Chin, that is not what I meant. We just feel you've suffered too much, and it pains us. Rest assured, we will protect you. You won't have to struggle so hard in the future." Father spoke with heartfelt sincerity, but I could already envision a myriad of ways I might meet my end. After my refusal was dismissed, I was so enraged that I contemplated releasing a mouse in each of their rooms. Moreover, despite my caution, they insisted on dragging me back to our ancestral home for a family reunion, claiming it would foster familial bonds. Just as I was about to decline, I heard Mother say, "Chin Chin, you've been here for some time now. You must miss your friends back home. A few days ago, you mentioned wanting to return." I fell silent. Indeed, I needed to make a trip back for Qingming Festival. Seeing my tacit acceptance, Mother clapped her hands joyfully. "Wonderful. I'll have the butler book tickets." "No need. I'll return on my own."
I don't want to fly.
My brother immediately leaned in, asking why. "You're not afraid that the plane might encounter trouble again, are you?" I shifted away, evading his hand. "Is that so wrong? What if something goes wrong? There's no escape in the sky. I'll take the train back on my own." My father set down his newspaper, stating, "That simply won't do. We will accompany you on the train. How can you leave me to go alone?" I raised my gaze to my father, pondering his thoughts. What could be his motive for insisting on accompanying me? Surely, it could not be out of genuine concern. "There's no need to trouble yourselves," I insisted. "I can manage the train ride alone. You should focus on your own affairs." My brother nodded in agreement. "Yes, Mom and Dad, you can trust us. I'll take care of my sister. That is all that is needed."
Ha!
I gazed at my brother in astonishment. Before I could protest, Gu Yao chimed in. "Brother is right. I'll accompany you on the train as well. I will look after you, so that my brother doesn't fumble and fail to care for you properly." Her smile was gentle, yet a chill ran down my spine. I couldn't shake the feeling that they were plotting something behind my back. Why else would they insist on accompanying me? My parents acquiesced to my brother's suggestion, though I was decidedly opposed. After much insistence on my part, we purchased 3 tickets in different carriages. On the day of departure, my brother observed my ensemble: a worn-out tracksuit, a cap pulled down to my brow, and a mask snugly fitted to my nose, making me resemble a laborer hastily arriving from a construction site. Here marked with a hint of disbelief, "Is it truly necessary to bundle up so tightly?" Gu Yao's smile faltered slightly. "Sister, why are you dressed like this? You look somewhat boyish." "It's for safety. Don't follow me later." I hefted my backpack and made my way toward the ticket gate. "We'll occupy 3 separate carriages. Let us not visit each other. We'll reunite when we reach our hometown." Once aboard the train, instead of heading to my assigned seat, I made a beeline for the restroom. Concealed within my backpack was a more inconspicuous outfit, one I had intentionally purchased in advance. After changing, I meandered through the carriage, preparing to disembark at the next station. I had already booked another train departing from this station on my phone. Traveling the same route with them was too perilous. It was far safer to part ways. After enduring 3 long hours, I finally arrived at the station in my hometown. As soon as I exited, my phone buzzed, an urgent call from the steward, informing me that Gu Yao and my brother had encountered trouble. I rolled my eyes, nearly crushing the water bottle in my grip. After all my efforts to reach my destination, I now had to return to find them. Ending the call, I promptly set off in the direction of the hospital. My pace was measured, for the crowd necessitated caution. One could never know when a madman might emerge and threaten my life. Upon reaching the hospital, I fortuitously found Gu Yao awake. Her left arm was suspended in a sling, a bandage wrapped around her head, her eyes rimmed with red. Upon seeing me, her eyes widened in shock, as if she had encountered a ghost. "What are you doing here? You shouldn't be. Shouldn't be what? Gu Yao quickly regained her composure. Her voice tinged with concern. It's nothing. I was just worried about you. Where's my brother? Why isn't he here? My mother immediately stepped forward, grasping Gu Yao's uninjured right hand. Don't worry, Yao Yao. Your brother is in the next room.
What?
He's injured? Gu Yao exclaimed, her surprise evident. Just as she finished speaking, she turned to me. Sister, are you all right? It seems they were after us, yet sister emerged unscathed. I assured her, of course. I'm fine. I never even sat down. You didn't sit? No, why would I? Aren't we supposed to occupy separate seats? Don't you think that's dangerous? What if someone poisons a seat? What if someone knows and comes to harm us? My parents, well aware of my nature, said nothing, while Gu Yao blinked, as if struck by a thought. You didn't switch seats with brother, did you? I nodded. Yes, before boarding. He insisted on discussing it with me, claiming I was overly suspicious. He even patted his chest, assuring me that no one would harm me, wanting to prove it to me. My mother gasped at this revelation. Just then, a loud voice erupted from the adjacent room. My brother, what are you all talking about? My head is killing me. He staggered into view, clutching his head. Seeing him on the verge of collapse, I quickly stepped aside, gesturing for my father to assist him. I dared not lend a hand, fearing he might be armed. My brother glared at me, ungrateful. I was just chased and struck by some old man wielding a frying pan. He must be mad. Thank goodness I have a hard head. I raised an eyebrow, retorting sarcastically, didn't he say it was perfectly safe? Indeed, I have a hard head. My brother paused, contemplating before stating, this was an accident. I just happened to encounter a lunatic. His earnest expression left me questioning whether he truly believed that or was merely being stubborn. However, I refrained from further argument, grabbing my backpack and preparing to pay my respects. You all continue your conversation. I need to visit an old friend. Upon returning from my hometown, my brother clung to me relentlessly, determined to validate that his beating was merely an accident. On our first outing to the park, he was chased by a stray dog for 3 miles and ended up bitten. On the second occasion, he gifted me a bottle of perfume, vowing it was entirely safe. I refused, yet he insisted on using it himself to prove its innocence. Within half an hour, his face had swollen, and he struggled to breathe. While it was confirmed to be non-toxic, he had suffered an allergic reaction. On the third occasion, he dragged me to swim, reluctant to enter the water. He dove in and ended up electrocuted. Time and again, he dismissed the notion of danger. Eventually, I grew exasperated and seized a frying pan, pursuing him in jest. Brother, this is no longer an accident. If you continue to pester me, I might just eliminate this nuisance. My brother appeared crestfallen, yet he continued to shadow me, prompting me to exercise even greater caution and evasion. Then one day, my brother went missing. My mother paced anxiously in the living room. Chun Chun, your brother said he was taking you to the amusement park. Do you know where he went? I shook my head. How could I let anyone know my plans? I jumped the wall from school 10 minutes early. Observing my parents' worried expressions, I turned to Gu Yao. Did you kidnap my brother? Gu Yao looked taken aback, tilting her head with a smile. Sister, what are you saying? How could I possibly kidnap brother? Stop pretending. I glared at her, enunciating each word. You had the cameras installed. The perfume brother gave me was also your recommendation. You knew I would be allergic. It was deliberate. Most importantly, the assailants who attacked you and brother were from your biological father's village. Lin Shan is not your biological father. Your mother was forced to marry him. And your biological father once worked for the Gu family. Gu Yao blinked, feigning innocence. Sister, how could you think such things of me? Why would I wish you harm?
Why?
Because I was close to uncovering the evidence that you caused our mother to miscarry and rendered her unable to bear children. My mother froze at this revelation, and Gu Yao's smile faltered entirely. Sister, but you have no evidence now. I glared at Gu Yao, picking up a fruit knife from the table and advancing toward her. My mother intervened. Chun Chun, what if it's not Yao Yao? If you jump to conclusions, it will only hurt her feelings. Besides, she has grown up under our care. I refused to believe she could do such a thing. I forcefully shoved my mother aside, my strength unrestrained, causing her to stumble back 2 steps, with my father quickly supporting her. What time is it, and you're still worried about her emotional state? You truly are failures as parents. Taking advantage of their momentary daze, I forcefully shoved Gu Yao to the ground, pressing the blade of a knife against her throat. Speak. Where is he? Gu Yao's voice quivered with suppressed tears, yet her eyes betrayed no fear. Sister, I swear it wasn't me. Oh, then you can die. I ceased any further banter, pressing the knife deeper, causing the skin to break and blood to flow. Gu Yao panicked, attempting to push me away, but the knife only dug in further. Observing my unwavering resolve, her expression shifted. Fine, I'll tell you. He's in the abandoned warehouse on the back mountain. You should go find him. Upon hearing this, my mother immediately rushed towards the door. We're going to the back mountain right now. Stop, I commanded, halting both of them. The knife still poised against Gu Yao's neck. We cannot go. Who knows if there are bombs in that warehouse? What if she is deliberately leading us into a trap? What if she has tampered with a car, intending for us to have an accident? After all, if we all perish, she becomes the sole heir. My father paused, his brow furrowed in concern. What should we do then? Call the police? Dial 110, 120, and 119. Gu Yao, observing my methodical arrangements, suddenly broke down. Lin Chen, I despise you. I continued to hold her firmly. Did I hit a nerve? Her voice became sharp and piercing, losing all semblance of the gentle, understanding demeanor she once had. Lin Chen, why can't you just die quietly? Clearly, my mother and I have attempted to kill you hundreds of times. Why are you still alive? Why must you obstruct my path? I gazed at her contorted face and calmly replied, because I wish to live. My life is quite precious. As Gu Yao was escorted into the police vehicle, she cast a lingering, resentful glance in my direction. When my father returned, he informed us that my brother had been taken to the hospital with several burn injuries. The warehouse had been filled with numerous flammable and explosive materials. He sighed in relief. Thank goodness we didn't go there directly. My mother, upon hearing this news, hardly ate for several days, often sitting in Gu Yao's former room, lost in thought. Meanwhile, my father busied himself with the aftermath, assisting the police with their reports. Upon returning from the hospital, my brother was bewildered and insisted on meeting Gu Yao. I was reluctant, but his daily insistence left me no choice but to accompany him. When Gu Yao saw us approaching, she instantly broke into tears. Brother, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to. I coldly interjected from the side. Indeed, you didn't mean to, you intended to. Gu Yao's expression stiffened, and my brother, looking at her in confusion, asked, Yao Yao, why have you changed so suddenly? Weren't we fine before? Why did you suddenly want to kill me, and why didn't you act sooner? Hearing my brother's words, Gu Yao's tears flowed more fiercely. Brother, you've always been so good to me. How could I ever harm you? She lowered her head, her shoulders trembling, appearing both aggrieved and pitiable. I was just jealous that you always protected sister. You used to care for me the most. I was simply frustrated. Brother, believe me, I love you and cannot bear to see you come to harm. Initially frowning, my brother's gaze softened slowly at her words. I slapped this foolish boy across the face. You actually believe her? Do you trust that she would forego harming you out of affection? You might as well believe pigs can fly. My brother looked at me with a wounded expression. But why didn't she attempt to harm me before? Who said she hasn't? Mother unexpectedly lost her ability to bear children. Can you guess how that accident occurred? You frequently went to the hospital in middle school and only stabilized during high school. That time frame coincided perfectly with my departure from home. Stepping closer, I pushed my brother away, speaking in a calm tone. Gu Yao, are you done with your charade? You merely wish to exploit him to deal with me. Now, you're simply seeking a way out after your release. All this talk of love and affection is merely a guise for your greed. Gu Yao, realizing her ruse was exposed, dropped the act. Her eyes filled with venom as she glared at me. You have indeed been investigating me. So, what if I desire wealth? Why should people like you enjoy a life of luxury while I struggle at the bottom? Why should you have everything from birth while I had to worry about being drowned by that man? It's not fair. I chuckled coldly. Indeed, that is why your mother swapped us. She worried that my existence would affect you. She has sought to eliminate me since childhood, yet unfortunately, she has failed. And yet you possess not an ounce of guilt. Gu Yao sneered. Why should I feel guilty? We have worked hard for so long. This is what I deserve. I desire money, power, and a good life. What sin is there in that? Don't think you've won. I will eventually find a way out. Hearing her words made me laugh. Oh, I eagerly await that day. Gu Yao, do you truly believe you are the only one with loving parents? Gu Yao's face contorted in confusion. What do you mean? I leaned closer to the glass, whispering, aren't you counting on the Gu family to be good people? They abide by the law. At worst, they would send you to prison, but you wouldn't die, right? But you've forgotten the driver you caused to perish. He was an only child, diligently striving for a better life, yet you destroyed everything. Can you imagine how his parents would react upon learning the truth? Gu Yao's face turned pale, her previously venomous and arrogant gaze shattered in an instant, replaced by panic and fear. She was terrified, knowing she feared death yet could so easily send others to their demise. As we exited the prison, my brother asked, how did you survive before? I feigned seriousness, replying, I am not your sister. I am a friend of your sister, who has already died. I have returned to avenge her. My brother's steps halted abruptly, as if nailed to the ground. He reached out to grasp my arm, but as his fingertips brushed my sleeve, I instinctively recoiled. What are you saying? Are you lying to me? Gazing into his reddened eyes, I was taken aback by his belief. I forced a smile, feigning sadness. What benefit would there be in deceiving you? 10 years ago, my mother pushed me into the river. She saved me, and I survived while she perished in the water. My brother's expression crumbled, his breath becoming erratic. What should we do? Mom and Dad will be heartbroken. Where is my sister's body? Where has she been buried? Brother, you really are foolish. I patted his shoulder. How about I treat you to Sichuan hot pot? My brother, puzzled, replied, why? Because we can eat brain matter. My brother froze for 2 seconds before comprehending that he had been teased, his face flushed with embarrassment and anger as he glared at me. You are indeed deceiving me. I shifted aside, wearing a faint smile. 10 years ago, I truly fell into the water, and the neighbor girl did indeed die trying to save me. Turning to head home, my brother muttered, didn't you say you would treat me to hot pot? I frowned, listing my reasons. How could that be? Places like hot pot restaurants are crowded and chaotic. Very dangerous. What if someone splashes hot broth on me? What if someone poisons the hot pot? What if the ceiling collapses? That's an exaggeration. My brother, exasperated, stomped his feet. You just don't want to treat me. Yes, I don't. The elder brother parted his lips, yet remained speechless for an extended moment, ultimately resigning with a sagging posture. Then let us return home. Return home? Very well, let us return home. The end of the narrative. Thank you for listening, and we shall meet again in the next tale.